What a freak thing, right?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. It was. I didn't know.
We got one.
I know.
Everything's pretty good.
Good.
Check completed April.
Somebody selling that for a while.
All right, it's 5:30, so we will get started. We have a quorum. The minutes of April that I sent to everyone, do you guys have any changes or anything that need made to that?
We're live streaming now, so
Okay,
just hit the,
smile real big.
it's just like school board meetings.
Okay, all right.
I got one this week.
Any changes or
I'll make a motion to approve.
made a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then is Justin here? Justin, he must not be here then. For the Yellow Jackets? Are you here for the Yellow Jackets?
Yes.
Okay, then you can come on up to the table there and. And I don't believe I know you.
I'm Brett Wagner.
Oh, right, I've heard your name a lot. I've seen you before.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's been good so far.
Okay, so this year for Swiss Days, last year during Swiss Days, we were asked if we would like to put on a Swiss Days baseball tournament at Lehman Park. So we thought this year, it's kind of a little late notice, but trying to get some teams to do that. This year it's small. It would be 4 teams. Tournament, as of now, if we get 4, would start Thursday. First game would be at 6. Second game would be at 8. Then we'd play Friday, same thing, 6 and 8. And then Saturday, we're looking to start about 10 o'clock in the morning for the first game for Saturday. Second game would be at 12. And then third and fourth place team would play at 2. We would pause because we know the parade of Swiss Days is at 4:30. So we would pause for that. There's been talks of maybe getting all the teams to walk in the parade, something simple. And then we'd come back at 6:30 or whenever the parade was done into the championship game. As of right now, we're only asking obviously to use the Little League Diamond and also the bathrooms. We had a guy that was going to come and do like ice cream, Gatorade and water. That's kind of fell through. So we might end up as a team buying water and Gatorade and just selling it at the Diamond. But also with Swiss Days going on, just like any other ball diamond, you'd want to be able to sell something. Food wise, I don't want to take away from Swiss Days, but the thought that has been thrown around, or the thing has been possibly a small food truck that would sell the water and the Gatorade and also have like hot dogs or maybe taco truck or whatever. But again, I don't want to take away from the downtown food spot. So that is what we are asking. I was asked before about insurance. Our team does have insurance, so that is something. I also can have each team sign a, not holding someone liable. But as we all know, that sometimes doesn't hold up. So that's my proposal, is if we can have a this year's small 14 baseball tournament for 11.
Would you guys line the diamonds then?
I can drag it, I can line it, I can do everything. We have held like double headers there. And we have bought chalk and chalked the lines and everything like that. Anything we didn't use, we just put in the shed right behind for the Little League. So I'm sure, I don't know if SAYL knew that, but that's what we did. We bought a bag and we left. I think it was like a half.
Is I don't know what you call the thing that lines the diamond. The
Chopper. The chopper.
Chalker? Yeah, is there a chalker in that shed or?
There is one that we had used, so everything was put back.
Do one of you have a key to that shed?
I have a key, yes.
A key to that shed?
Do you have stuff to drag the diamond?
So we don't personally have it, but there is a drag out in left field that we use and we put it back. And then we'll just use a golf cart or something.
That's what you've done previously.
Then have you seen any challenges with other people using the diamond or dragging it? Has that seemed to gone okay before for them to take care of it themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. And then opening the restrooms, that is normally open on Saturday and Sunday at a certain time anyway, isn't it, or not?
Places we usually unlock on the weekends.
I'm
The
sorry.
place unlock them on the weekends.
Okay. Do you know what time they unlock them or? Okay,
It probably varies,
okay,
depending on what they're doing.
yeah.
I mean, if they get a call, obviously, they're not gonna get unlocked.
Well, and I would think maybe by 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, they'd surely have it done by then.
So I'm just asking, if it rains or something, and do you call this in to see if the field is feasible to play, or you guys are just
I can,
going to do that?
I
Because I know
can,
they spent a lot of money getting it nice.
yes, I
They
can.
just don't want it ruined.
If that's what we need to do, I mean, if it rains a little bit, I think we can soak up the water and
It'll take a lot right now.
move it around. Yeah, I mean, it's been dry for a while. But if that is a concern, I can call whoever I need to as long as I have the number.
What do you think about that?
I usually been around with baseball and use their fields. You're not gonna tear it up.
I think they've used it in the past and it's been successful with some double headers and some things like that on some Sundays or whatever. Is there anything we need to think about with the food truck option? Is that anything that's,
I know we have an ordinance about food trucks, so I'm not sure exactly what that is. Mayor, do you know, if they wanted to have a food truck, I know we have an ordinance, I'm not sure what it is, they're not able to.
We don't have an ordinance for food trucks.
We don't? No, we must have just
We-
talked,
We've talked.
okay,
Like in certain be, they're paying how much to have a food truck. That's what stays. And then it's how many blocks down the road this
Right.
thing.
I see.
Doing it for free.
And that's what I said, I don't want to take away from that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's completely, I mean, if I have to,
That Food's down the road.
right. But would it be okay for us to sell waters and Gatorades and stuff like
I
that?
don't have a problem with that.
I think the majority of people that are gonna be there, they're not gonna be eating, are they just gonna be eating snacky stuff probably during the games probably?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Be more Saturday.
Saturday would be our big food day.
Is it possible on Saturday you could play at 10, 12, and 2? We have set up, or you'd play 10 or 12 and then
Yeah.
loser plays at 2, so they have time to do something. You can do too.
Yeah, so the way it works is we'll do the 4 games Thursday and Friday. That will determine the seed, and then 2 teams will play at 10, 2 teams will play at 12. and move forward.
So you play at 10 or 12 and then 2 more.
6:30.
You got 14 already?
I had 4 teams, and then 2 dropped out, so we're in the mix of trying to figure out 2 more teams.
So if you don't get those 2, you're not gonna have it then and take it or?
If we don't get 2 and we only get 3, I can still do a 3-team, and if we get 2, then it's kind of null and void. Unless we do a 7-game series.
Well, just as a thought, in case, if you have the tournament and you get there, I would check to make sure the restrooms are unlocked before people come, and then
Right.
everybody's scattered.
Well, with the game,
And if they aren't unlocked, just call 911 and say it's a non-emergency. And
I gotta go to the.
yeah, and just request a Berne policeman to come there.
like
I'm just telling you, that's the easiest way to get it taken
With-
care of.
with the game starting at 6, obviously, us coaches will probably be out there probably 4 o'clock or so, just to try and get everything ready. With the bathrooms, we'll make sure that they're all cleaned up, trash is picked up.
So you'll do the fields on Thursday and Friday also?
Yes,
So Ben might,
unless you guys want to go.
so Ben might just have to know.
That would be greatly appreciated.
You're all right with that, Ben?
Do you have any concerns that been talked about?
I think,
You still have.
We've had to do that a few times. Normally, they're pretty good about it.
Don't we have a sign that we can?
Let's keep off if line for play or
Yeah.
whatever, but they won't right by it.
Oh, okay.
That is true.
So you can make your own sign reserved for Hill Jackson tournament or something.
About on the orange one, the sign, like the entrance.
You can block it a little bit.
Kids ride bikes out there on the
You still have enough chalk that they can use. You're out.
I can get some.
So make sure you get enough.
And anything we don't use will be left unchecked. I won't take it. I don't need it for anything else.
So, any other questions or insight about that?
So we need a motion to approve it, or you just give us a heads up?
Yeah, we have to approve. So what I'm hearing is then no food truck, because we don't want to conflict with Swiss Days, but you can sell water and Gatorade there. Correct? Did I understand that from everybody? So is there
You gonna do that just out coolers, or you want it inside the concession stand?
I was thinking just in coolers, but if you're willing to open the concession stand, then I would take the concession stand.
That's owned by the city, right?
I mean, if you want to throw that in there too.
Coolers still on.
On there, so I don't know about baseball.
Get those on a couple days before.
And we will supply our own baseballs. We will not take baseballs, what's left in the concession stand. Supply our own. Do I have the approval to use the scoreboard?
Barbecue. You already got your own catcher here.
Mr. Mayor, do you see any problems with them using the concession stand or?
well, you're gonna have water and Gatorade and stuff in the cooler, was it just were you gonna have somebody sell that?
Yeah, I'll have somebody sell them. Oh, somebody to come do it.
Is there still SAYL stuff in there, or is that in conflict with SAYL at all?
I was there all the way, put some baseballs and.
I haven't been down there this week, I don't know.
I was in there cooking, so there was like a pizza diet, I was doing pizza diet.
I think they moved a lot of the vendors.
So do you have a key to the concession stand?
I do not.
So how would we work that out? Who would have to go unlock that? Because I know with it being Swiss days, people are,
Loading one, I have one I can give you at school. Everybody's all right with that. and then it'll be easy to get it back to them.
Is it a problem signing up?
I mean, it's not. I mean, I can buy ice and make cooler, have cooler. It's not that big of a deal.
Coolers on it, the coolers aren't without heat turned on it.
I don't think they're on anything. I haven't been in there for like 2 weeks. Last time I was in there, I was trying to get the lights to work.
I mean, if you guys are okay with Doug giving me the key, it wouldn't be no biggie for me to go turn them on or plug them in. If the reasoning behind not doing it is having someone come do it, I could do it. It's not that big of a deal. I can just stop by after work.
Do you have any concerns or?
I think SAYL will have to have all their stuff out first before you go in. So like all your food that's left over and stuff,
I think all the food wise is moved over to softball right now.
and drinks and everything.
There might, I don't remember.
If you want it sold, let me know. So.
When I go over when we put the stuff in, it's there, I'll just put it in a storage room. And we'll name it right off.
So,
We're not doing popcorn or hot dog.
Nope.
So we're not doing- It's nothing to clean up.
So when we started talking, you said something about this year, it's only your goals of four team tournament. So is there goals in the future to have a lot larger?
I think when you try to start something, I think your goals are always to grow, right? Like you start a business, you're always willing and trying to grow bigger. It would be awesome if we could, work with SAYL or anything with that matter and have multiple stuff. I mean, softball, if you could get girls to come play softball, I mean, I think that brings a lot of people into Berne. I think not even just Swiss days. I think if you could hold tournaments there throughout the season, I mean, I think that brings in a lot of money for Berne. So, if our team is only one age group. So ultimately, I want what's best for my team. I'm trying to make a tournament so they have games to play. But there's also a lot more kids in Berne that I think would benefit from playing more games. So if we could get more, it's going to take a lot more advertising. It's going to take a lot more work to get it there. But I mean, if you have one age group this year and say next year you can get 2 age groups. The biggest drawback is some of the age groups, like when you play a travel sport, like the Berne Diamond is set up, I think it's 46-60 is what the distance is. So like as you get older, those distances change. So some age groups you can't play. Does that make sense? So like your 12U, they move to a bigger field. Even our 11U, when we play outside of like rec tournaments or anything to that matter, their bases change. So like, so that would just be the difference. But I think if you could get a coach's pitching machine tournament, I mean, you could utilize all 3 diamonds.
When Duval redid the field, then we put in the longer bases. So just have to find the plugs. They help the mound, but the bases are there.
So can't really move bases if you don't know the mound.
Get a temporary mound, wouldn't matter, put where you want.
I like that idea.
Any other discussion? Is there a motion to allow the Yellow Jackets to have a tournament on the Little League Diamond over Swiss Days?
So move.
Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Thank you.
And, we meet quarterly,
Mhm.
so next year I would probably come in to our meeting in April.
Oh, that sounds good.
So it's not
Sounds
so
good.
close.
Like I said, this was like a last minute
Yeah.
thing, so do you guys need any of these?
I don't think so.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next one on the agenda was Ethan Sharp, and he had to work this evening, so they have a fall ball league, and they just practice on our diamond. They play elsewhere, the softball girls do, and they practice on Saturdays and Sundays. And in talking to Dave, our city attorney, when someone wants to have something regularly on the diamonds, that's when they have to come and get permission from the park board. If they're just doing a pickup game or something like that, it's not. So since this is an organized kind of thing, we just would have to give permission. I think they only have 2 more practices.
He sent me that.
Oh, good.
They're not asking to line any fields or.
No,
it's
they
a practice
just
area.
permission to have the diamond, to use the diamond.
It
for
would
practice.
be, July 9th. 16th, 23rd, and August 6th and 13th. That's it. And those are on Wednesdays.
First day school.
And this is not part of SAL.
No. They go play tournaments outside of the community. I don't know. Do you know where they go play, Doug?
I think
Like
it's,
Alice said, Coldwater.
yeah, St. Mary's, Coldwater,
Okay.
stuff like that,
Okay.
from what I remember him saying.
So does anybody have an issue with
It's
them?
more like a league, right, not tournaments?
It's, fall ball is like a 5-week thing. Runs from like typically August and September. It's just played on Sundays. I think they're doing St. Mary's, Ohio.
One time they said they had teams wanting to come here and play though. That not gonna happen, then it sounds like.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Ethan told me there weren't going to be any games here,
I think it's just practice.
so. Anybody have any opposition to that, or is there a motion to permit that?
I'll make a motion. Oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to have their fall ball practices there.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then Kyla's here. She wanted to just give a wrap up of South Adams Youth League, and she had a request. So, you don't have to go up there if you don't want to.
So I came in April and just kind of wanted to give an update of how the season went. Had a little hiccups right at the very beginning, but Ben and I kind of got on the same page and worked through that. So thank you very much for just being flexible, and rain was not in our favor this year. So we had a lot of makeup games. I'm sure there were some times where we missed forgetting to tell him about a makeup just because there were so many. A huge win that I've heard over and over is the softball scoreboard worked all season. So thank you. That was huge. Fortunately, the minor league boys is still not working. I'm not sure if it's just time for a brand new one. It's pretty ancient looking. If we need to look at like having sponsors for that, we can do that too. I'm not sure what that process looks like for a scoreboard. Lights continues to be an issue, why they're not fixed, and I really don't have a good answer for anybody. So I'm not sure where that stands even.
Ben, did you want to update her? Because it sounds like it should be in good shape before long.
Dr. Smith was down there. They told me they had all of them fixed except for on first baseline of Little League. There's 3 that are out and they have to put a new light fixture up. So they're getting us a quote. But they said they had everything else working.
So then the quote comes to the park board, is that right? Or
They'll
does-
probably send it to me. And
Okay.
I'll just have to
Okay.
get with Cattle or whatever.
And there shouldn't be any reason why that couldn't be done so that next season all the lights work, is that right? Okay.
Do you think they can do that this fall yet? Possibly.
I would say.
What, is it just bulbs that were out, or was there a bigger issue?
I think it's the ballast and the lights fixture that's up there, so they're gonna replace it with LED.
Alright, well, that will be huge. Hopefully we can test that out before
Right.
spring rolls around.
Could that be done before the Swiss Days tournament?
Maybe.
Then we know if it worked or not for sure.
I don't know, they'd have to order the lights.
Yeah, okay.
And how,
That's
that's
probably
probably
not.
done in time.
That's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah, that's true.
Feels like
Yeah,
it's gas, they gotta run for 100 hours before you can use them.
Right.
Just a couple of requests, from some of our commissioners and coaches. The minor league boys field, there's been discussion of wanting the power outlet buried in the ground, kind of like at the girls. Like at the girls, it goes from the shed up to the fence and then everything else is underneath. But on the boys, when they use the pitching machine, the cord, you have to run over the cord out in the third base.
There's been discussion about that, but getting it up to code is the problem.
It's been like that for many years. When my kids were in it.
You mean to get,
The
whole
power
problem.
out there. Cause you get water down in the hole if it rains.
so would that be a huge project to try to get that taken care of? I have no
I'd
idea.
have to talk to electricians, get prices and see what their thoughts were.
Okay.
The power just comes across from the dugout currently, right? Or does it comes from the
Right now, they're just running an extension cord from
third base,
Forward.
across third baseline?
wherever. But over at the softball, they ran a line underneath, but it's not the code.
So what's it look like at the mound? Just a,
Big plate,
It
probably
was just a plate with a hole in the ground, and there's a plug coming out of it, a cord, extension cord, basically.
So if it's not to code, like someone just did it themselves?
Years ago.
I bet I can guess who. But I won't say today. Might have said it in April.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mentioned it.
Okay.
The mound, I know you were briefly just talking about the mound at Little League. So we were wanting to maybe move some softball games to Little League because we have so many extra teams in one field. We were running out of space to get some of the makeup games in. Doug quickly pointed out, well, you can't do that because there's a mound at Little League and softball, you don't need a mound. And if we were to relook at removing that mound or getting new dirt in, can we flatten it out and then just the league will purchase?
Is that with Mike Duball?
I was gonna
They
bring that up
spent
when
a
we
lot
got
of money
to
on that.
the yellow clay bullet point,
Mhm.
that possibility.
Possibility of,
Removing the mound and use a temporary mound when you need it, but then the field could be used for other things that don't require a mound.
oh, okay. I've been out of ball for a long time. Okay. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit later
Sure.
on and I'll let you know what they
Yep.
decide.
Getting dirt, just like some fill-ins for all the fields. I think they need built up a little bit, even just some gentle rain. There's a lot of standing water, so I'm not sure what we do with that, where we go from there. They just seem very low.
Is that something that's been done in the past? Adding dirt to the fields or?
Well, it used to be real bad till Duval came in and put the brick test on.
Now it's just where everybody stands. You can tell that driving by more. It would help if they break after the last game each night, if they don't anymore. I don't think they have to because the field got fixed.
We did kind of start enforcing that, at least at the softball side. They did a much better job this year. I think it's important that we're helping keep them up as well.
Is there a way to encourage whoever's at the minor league and little league to rake after the last game or?
Used to be a rule that the home team raked and the visiting team cleaned up the dugouts.
And that's not a rule anymore?
I don't know. Doesn't mean it's being followed.
Do you know if that's still a rule?
I do not know, but
I'd say it is because we usually don't take a rule out. We change it, but we don't remove it.
Okay.
I think that would be something the commissioners need to
Yeah.
know and that they need to enforce it.
sure. And then the last thing I have is just wondering if we can get a stockpile of toilet paper and paper towel and like keep in the concession stand portion. Because typically if you do run out, they're gonna go straight to the concession workers and ask for more. We were purchasing some of that this year on our own again, especially on the girls for paper towels. The boys, they have the air dryers, so that was wonderful. But paper towels in the girls.
There's a storage room in the girls' diamond, isn't there? Could you stock some extra in there so they don't have to go purchase?
We did talk about the hand dryers at the girls at one point, didn't we? Well, whatever happened to that?
Because of the cost and it's only open for a month and a half, we decided not to do it. But at the park, it's open for, 9 months?
So if we just have
or
plenty
8 months.
stocked there, that would take care of that then. Okay. Ben said he could take care of that, so.
Perfect. You know, if the restroom for the boys has been the key, they
Yeah,
finally got that. Perfect.
Did you tell me you thought that there might be a business interested in donating?
We have had some businesses reach out about donating, for a scoreboard.
For the minor league diamond? So if, how would that work? I haven't been here before when a scoreboard's been donated, so what does that look like? If someone's,
So it's going through the town though, hasn't it? Because the city owns the diamond.
Is it, so the minor league scoreboard isn't the antennas anymore?
I didn't even know it wasn't working.
Well,
Calla and
changed.
Shannon had been down there a lot and they got a new antenna, but they think maybe little fingers get in there.
I knew it wasn't working, but then when they added the antenna.
They got the new antenna and then it was working.
Yeah.
And it
It
was
didn't,
fine.
but I don't think it even worked for the whole game.
I know Shannon ordered something and then him and Calla worked on it. And I think it was working then.
Does anybody know how old the scoreboard is at the minor league?
It's the only one I can remember, but it was sort of new. I started being part of the minor league as a coach. And then I had a problem when the softball scoreboard came in. The signals got crossed and they would try to override each other. But then that got fixed.
It was there when you started, wasn't it, Ben?
Yeah, it's at least 12, 15 years old, I'd say.
Is there a general lifespan? Or
Yeah.
if they found businesses willing to donate to get a new scoreboard, is that a problem or something
That's
not?
how we got the others.
No, it's not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, you'd have to decide whether you want one business to do it or ask the business that's already on there or have somebody else donate, but it'd be pretty hard on the size, on that small of a scoreboard to get more than one name on it. Maybe, I don't know, it just depends how long the name of the advertiser is.
Is there, whose name's on it now?
First Bank of Berne.
First Bank of Berne?
Kyla works there, so.
Oh, you have
she's got a-
connections.
she's got a connection.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor.
Connections.
That's what somebody would have said, I'd still be working there.
And that's true. And I know that the bank is great about giving to the community, so that might be something you might ask them, since their name's already on there and they might not want something going up without their name on.
I can see what I can do.
Okay. Okay,
Put on the back of the scoreboard too, and everybody sees it driving by
that's true.
all year.
How long does it take to order something, get it installed? I mean, is that
I don't think that'd be that bad.
I guess
It's a
one thing-
basic, it's not a special order thing, so.
I guess the only reason I was asking was, is that something that all this comes together, do this fall yet, and have it ready to go for 26 season?
So I wouldn't think it would need any special wiring.
Do you have any idea what a scoreboard costs?
No, I don't. It used to be Pepsi and Coke would donate them to the schools for you selling them in the concession stand, and now they do cash deals. But I don't know. Like the new football one at the school was part of the whole big project. I don't know what it costs, but it'd be a lot more because it's bigger.
So is that something you're gonna try to put together and come back and revisit, or with?
You want me to quote the
Oh, I
scoreboard?
don't know. I'm just asking how we're gonna, if we're gonna move forward or how we're gonna. I'm talking about your donors
Oh,
or
yeah,
I don't know what
can.
the right way to move forward with that is. If they're
Probably I'll ask the Bank of Berne first since they're on there, right of first refusal. If they're willing to give something, and if so, how much, and then get a quote for what the school board is. Unless you want to find the quote first, so then they know up front it would be this.
Where do you get a quote for something like that?
I could probably do some checking at school for contacts to find out.
Is it-
Probably go to the Daktronics website too. They're the big name in scoreboard.
That's the type of scoreboard, electronics. I would probably get the quote first and then see who wants to sponsor it.
Does anybody know what size that is if you're gonna look at the website? For comparison's sake.
Or you get one just like the Little League field, and then they match being down there.
That would be nice.
Probably have to put it in different quote posts.
Possibly.
That's what they did for the Little League, new posts and scoreboard.
Who installed it?
And so it's.
Oh.
The post, I think Mitch might have put the scoreboard up. But I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I'm all for having everything working properly. I guess
Is FCC on the one in the Little League one?
I know they did the field, I don't remember who did the
I think
scoreboard.
so, yeah. And then the Rotary has the one that softball.
Yeah, they did that in softball.
I guess I'm not opposed to any of this. I just want to make sure that for the 26th season, either what's there now is up and going, or if there's a new one, then obviously it should be working top notch.
Yeah.
With a all new system. But as long as however we move forward, as long as it's working for the next season.
Are you looking at the website?
Yeah, it looks like the smallest they have is a 14-foot wide baseball scoreboard that goes up to 16. Choose paint color, striping color, caption color, digit color. And then request quote.
Oh, they don't just give you the quote on. Okay.
I could probably find a person to contact at school.
Okay. Do you just wanna, Kylie, just wanna be in contact with Doug about that? And then our next, meeting is October the 9th. So you could come back and let us know what you found out and
Sure.
whether, which direction we should go with all that.
Sure.
Okay?
Any questions? All right,
Thanks.
All right.
thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank
That's
you.
the oldest of the three, isn't it?
Yes.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. Okay, the next item on the agenda, there's a, I'm sorry, there's a request to use the park pavilion for an animal rehab presentation. Is that correct, Mayor? That was the impression you had?
I'll let Kelly answer.
Yeah, kind of like how Soaring Eagle or how they'll come to your facility or park or whatever and put just put a show on basically and explain what the animals do and whatnot. They said they had one at the covered bridge, I think maybe last summer,
Okay.
but I'm not, I can't remember what kind of animal it was that he said.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Not one that flies.
Yeah. Well, and I know that our contract or somewhere said that they couldn't bring animals in the pavilion,
Yeah, on page 2.
not even, not even dogs or cats. So, I guess it didn't say cats, but
If it was like a registered.
yeah, properly registered service dogs, specially trained to perform specific tasks for persons with disabilities. And while that's, sounds like a fun thing, there have been people we've denied
I
before.
feel like didn't we deny the 4-H dog club a few years ago?
I think, yeah, and I
They-
think somebody wanted to have a dog, or maybe it was
They
gonna
wanted to
run
do dog training or
dog
something.
training, yeah,
Park, or maybe they did do that,
I'm sorry.
but they
We
never.
didn't allow them to use the pavilion, I don't think.
Yeah.
Right. I just think to be consistent, we probably need to do the same thing across the
I mean,
board.
we do have it specified out, though, no animals.
Mhm.
And if we make an exception this time,
Yeah,
we'll have to make an exception the next time and again after that. And
yeah.
I'm not opposed to what these people are doing, but since we have it spelled out, I think we should stay, like you said, consistent with what we got.
Okay,
I agree.
okay. Missy, how do you feel?
I agree.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that while we appreciate what they want to do, that we already have things in place that doesn't permit for animals in the pavilion.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Thank you. Okay, and then the next thing was follow up with Ben, and we were gonna talk about the mound. Doug, you said you had something.
Yeah, Geneva redid their field and worked with SAYL, and they were going to put a grass infield, and dirt mound and everything, but then that makes it very specific for 11 to 12-year-olds. And so at the request of SAYL, they left it dirt. It's got the same material as the 3 burn diamonds, and then SAYL bought a portable mound to put on there so it can be used for other things than just our Little League baseball. And that seemed to work out okay. The portable mounds now are just the mound, so when they plant, their foot comes down, it lands on the dirt, not the mound. So it doesn't tear that up as much. It's easier to move. It only weighed 36 pounds. They shipped it to my house, got it from Amazon. Got a quote from a mound place and found it cheaper someplace else. And so and most travel fields are like that anymore. So kids are used to pitching on temporary portable mound. And then if our 2 diamonds for SAYL is the same thing, then they can't complain that, well, this diamond's better than the other one. They're both the exact same thing, same material and everything. And then if you want to move it back for a bigger kid tournament, you can without disturbing the dirt and everything. Be easier to drag. And Not to worry about going around it and everything.
Right now it is elevated, permanent, I mean, it's a permanent mound.
It's clay,
Yeah.
but there's two cement foundations in there.
So is that something we would have to have, like, Duval come back and properly,
Well, I think when we get rid of it, he should come back, and I actually think we should get another load of that brick dust.
Yeah, it's about time to redo that and level it out, which would help with some of those low spots too, because it absorbs the moisture and evaporates.
so what you're saying is if we fix the mound, SAYL will pay for the portable mound again on this dime?
I'm pretty sure we would. Can't guarantee it without having a meeting with them, but we've done it before. It shouldn't be a problem.
Again, is this all something that should be done this fall if we decide to move forward?
Probably wouldn't hurt so the dirt can settle and everything. And then it doesn't dip all of a sudden in the middle of the season. Do you know how deep the bricks are? Are they above grade or? Because I'd almost say if
They're at the top of the mound.
okay, I was gonna say if they're below grade, I'd almost leave them there to keep the consistency of the
Right.
packed ground.
I don't think it goes below the mound much.
Okay, then,
What's the elevation right now difference?
6 inches is what it should be. It's probably a teeny bit less now from erosion.
So is it a difficult project to do what you're proposing to get?
It'd take more time to remove the mound and to carry and place the new mound down and get it spaced right.
Each game, they would have to do that.
That way you can eyeball it with the mound or the bases. It'd be lined up where it's supposed to be, but it could tilt it one way or the other, but you could make some clips to almost like tent stakes to keep it from tilting and sliding.
And the coaches would put it in and dig it out each
Good, probably.
game, or
One thing be, it wouldn't fit in the shed, so you'd either strap it on the fence in the dugout or find another place for it, especially during the off season. I wouldn't leave it out there so bikes go over it and, because it's fiberglass underneath and field turf on top. Which helps with the weight. But it's not gonna blow away either if you leave it out there overnight.
Is it something that could be stored in the concession stand over the winter? all
Yeah,
winter?
it's in that door. You could lean up against the freezer or something.
Any thoughts or
No,
Concerns
fine,
or-
But then
It
technically,
needs work now.
SAYL wise, if you do that, any league could play on any field.
and
The only
She mentioned
difference,
there was-
the two minor leagues, the outfield's a little smaller. So minor league softball plays on a bigger outfield. Junior league softball should play on the little league field because the dimensions are more the same. The mound is the problem.
and she said that you were having trouble with scheduling
Yeah,
or
'cause, well, there's two baseball fields, and a softball field. So minor league softball uses the minor league baseball field some because they can. And this would help with that.
so how do we proceed? Get a quote from Duval or
It'd
do
be
we?
mostly time, a teeny bit of material to fill in a void. And then you'd wait and put the mix that Ben was talking about down in the spring, the last minute.
Just before the season?
Yeah,
And that's something that Duval would have to do again then, or is that something that you put down, or how's that?
you could have an SAYL party and the kids could help.
Right.
If you bought it, like by the bag, they could help do that and then just start dragging it and leveling it out itself. That's what we did on the Koufax field when they got redone. Koufax team did everything. Which means there might be more likely to break it then too, because they put a lot of time into getting it ready. And less likely to tear it up themselves. Because they invest in something. So it costs the park board whatever it costs to remove the existing mound. And like I said, I'm pretty sure SAYL would take care of the mound. Not I can find somebody to sponsor it.
Any thoughts on what it costs to remove the mound would be?
I don't know what Duval charges by on time or something, but with equipment and machinery, it'd go quicker than a couple shovels.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be able to get it level like it needs to be. And
To him, that'd be a small job.
Yeah.
like we're talking a few hours maybe, or half a
Yeah.
day easily.
Yeah, I would think so. Then knowing him, he might want to come back and check the compactness to make sure it's not going to settle too much.
I think we have, I mean, it's not gonna cost $10,000 or anything like that,
No.
correct? I mean, I have no clue about that stuff, obviously. But
Jared,
it's-
do you know what it costs when he redid the whole grading and everything? I never heard. Because I knew FCC paid for it.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure. FCC
I thought
played a part in.
it would have been 3 to 5, you think?
Yeah, probably.
$35,000.
So, it might be small enough a job. He's not interested either.
I want to know where there's a skid loader at.
I was gonna say we could figure something out.
So do we need to make a motion to proceed with this option, or,
Yeah, if you want to, that's up, yeah, it sounds to me like it.
I mean, it needs work, and it sounds like it's gonna be the best
Something needs to be
option.
done, so now, I'd say now's the time to do it and fix the mound and decide later on, oh, let's tear it out and do this.
And it's gonna be better for the league all around if other
Yeah.
teams will be able to
Brett
utilize
said
it.
then a 12U softball team could play on that field too. And use 2 fields and have pool
That'd be
plays going and
nice.
stuff like that and have more teams here. And stuff like that. And actually baseball could do it too and borrow the mound from Geneva or something. And they play baseball on both fields at the same time if you wanted to.
I'll make a motion to remove the mound and get it prepared for the temporary mound.
You okay with that, Mayor?
I don't know enough about it to.
Well, you were on SAYL for years.
Yeah, I just wrote checks.
I'll make the
I
motion.
mean, it's working great in Geneva, you said, right?
Yeah, I didn't hear complaints. My biggest concern was it would move during the course of the game, which you can do things to prevent that. But they're also 10, 11-year-old boys pitching, not me. That's my force, pushing off.
I'll make the motion.
Nathan made the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. So who works all that out? Is that like you and Ben talking to each other, or how does that go? I don't know.
I'll worry about getting rid of the mound, either Duval or I'll take care of it.
Okay.
You know, let me know.
Okay.
And then you'll order brick dust in the spring then, or somebody,
We'll have to discuss that at the next meeting to get it ordered. You can buy it by the truckload or by the bag, a pallet. If you buy it from Lehman's, they'll deliver it by the pallet. But that's a lot of time, a lot of bags.
So would you have an idea of what it would cost to do the diamond at the October meeting?
I could ask.
And then that maybe. Which, I mean, is there really, is not doing it an option? I mean, it sounds like you're gonna.
The Lake Diamond was done first, so it probably needs it the most. Maybe start a pattern of working around between the 3.
Okay. Anything else about that? Okay. So Ben just thought we'd see how the air vent replacement went in the pavilion. Did you get that I'll
Got
take
it
care.
taken care of
That solved the problem for you?
for now.
Okay.
I think it's effective more when it's cold outside. It seems like when you get condensation up in the attic. Cause you get that warmer air blowing through the ductwork and then it's cold up there, so then
Okay.
it sweats.
Okay.
So this fall, when it cools off, we'll be able to tell.
Okay. All right. Anything else about the air vent? Okay. Ben brought a quote for keypads for the 3 storage sheds for the ball diamonds. And the quote he has for 3 of the keypads, I'll pass it around so you can see it, $714. Ben said that you just push in a code to get open, and then Ben could change the code at the end of the season. And he also said there's a key that he could use to get it open if there was an issue with it, but
Is it the type that you can put multiple codes and stuff onto if you need to?
I would imagine. But it
714 for
should just
3.
be one code per year
And then,
and then change it at the end of the season. And then the new.
and they give the new one out, they give the new one out at the beginning of the,
Because the problem is apparently people are losing keys.
Or the lock itself, if it's a padlock.
or both.
Be tough to lose that one.
Those locks are probably what, $150 a piece.
Those are what, two,
That's $229.99. That's installed, or you can install it.
it's installed.
It's like a deadbolt, I believe, and then
And then there's a master key that you can lock in the off season.
some of them, there's a way that you can program them, so one master key will do them all then, when you buy through like the same brand.
so what do you guys think? I have to abstain from voting or anything on that, so.
I motion just to get them all 3 down.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody's opposed, okay. Then the scoreboards, did we pretty much cover that? I mean, where things are at? The Little League Diamond scoreboard work okay this year?
I didn't hear anything, yeah.
All right. And then the park mulching project, I had reached out to you guys about that. On Wednesday, the 16th, Tony Mosier at the bridge is they're doing their extreme makeover in the community. The bridge does once a year. And so they like to do community projects. So he's gonna bring some of the foreign exchange students and mulch at the park. And Ben said he would get mulch ordered. And so that's next week on Wednesday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is it just, I'm sorry I didn't reach back out on that message. Is it just around the pavilion or some playground areas or?
Tony said they'll do whatever you need done. So I
I'll
guess,
just focus on playground mulch. I
okay,
know that needs it worse,
okay.
especially on the east side.
Been a while since we've done that.
So I should tell him to just focus on the playground equipment and that's the only area, okay. I'll let him
Yeah, and
know.
then next week I can bring some in. I might actually try to do it tomorrow before it rains.
Okay. And then could you leave your wheelbarrow outside your building there like you did when we did the cleanup? And then they said they could bring, he asked me if we had any equipment they could use, but they would bring whatever they needed as well, so
Okay.
I'll let him know we have one wheelbarrow for him to use. Okay. Any questions about that or anything? Nope. Okay, moving on. I just wanted to let you guys bring you up to date on the American Structure Point things that we were talking about, and we're at the Board of Public Works approved the engineering services to move forward with that. And then there's a meeting coming up that American Structure Point will be coming to town. And are they just meeting with the mayor? And are there other people, or are they just coming to just present?
I think they're just coming to present the plan, so
Okay.
it's myself and you and I forgot to say something to you, 17th at 1:30.
Okay.
And then I imagine it'll be like when we did this before, then as it progresses, they pull
Yeah.
more people in and
Right, yeah.
and all that, so, yeah. So I just wanted to bring you guys up to where that was. And then, we just need to approve the custodial contract. If you want to, make a contract again with Jeremiah, and it will run from May 1st of this year until April 30th of 2026. So if you guys are in favor of having Jeremiah do it again, I haven't heard any complaints. It sounds like he did a good job. So,
Are you dealing with Jeremiah directly now?
Yeah,
So you're taking care of all the scheduling and all of that for the Landon Park?
yeah, and we had a little bit of a rough run last week or whatever, but we got that straightened out, and just keeping open communication is the key of it. Making sure it's on the calendar.
Mhm.
Like we'll have like cars in the park, they'll run it, and then we won't clean it until like the last day if they run it. Red Cross, that kind of thing.
Mhm. So far, have you been good with Jeremiah and everything?
Yeah, they've been wonderful, and like ours in the park will be coming and not leaving until 6 o'clock, and instead of me having to stay in town or come back to town, he's willing to go over and make sure everything's locked up. It's been very helpful.
good.
Red Cross did a better job.
that's what they had said at the last meeting. I know when Lori was here, she said that they were doing a much better job, it sounded like, so. They were having a little bit of trouble with the Red Cross not cleaning up like they should, so.
Yeah, I sent Arts in the Park an email because they had glitter all over, and so I went ahead and I stayed over and just vacuumed it up the best I could, and that's one of the things I'm gonna mention later on when we discuss this.
Okay. Okay. Are there things that we need to discuss with this?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, we should finish Jeremiah. Are you good with having Jeremiah again?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Okay. Make the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Duck.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Nobody opposed? Okay. All right. And did you have something? to
yeah,
go with?
currently, when I started taking over, they're giving this kind of cheat sheet to people as they come to the window to make their payment for the security deposits and the rental. And then, we also have the contract that they sign off on. When you look at the kind of the cheat sheet with the rules and regulations and fees, it's kind of outdated.
Okay.
Number one, Candace's name's obsolete, it's now Kaiser, so I wanted to update that. I kind of piggybacked a little bit off of the senior center's contract, but what my plan is to continue to give this to them to replace this one
Okay,
that has more detail on it,
okay.
and then also have them sign the contract. So I would make them a copy of the contract as well, so they have that. But like on here, for example, like we had damage in the first part of June where someone had rented and they had put some tape or something on the wall and pulled the paint off. And then on here, there's nothing about not sticking anything on the walls.
Okay.
So now whenever they come to the window to rent it or they call, I specify nothing on the walls, even though it's not on here.
Okay.
The other thing too is like with the security deposit, in all honesty, you can't rent something really around here for the cost that we're charging. And so I feel like it's not a big deal in my mind if we say we have to have $225 up front. Instead of just a security deposit and then have them pay later on down the road, the other, pull out the $150. It's kind of hard to keep track of.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be easier now that I'm the only one doing it, but still, if I go on vacation and someone else takes the money, it would be easier to say it's $225, no damages, you're gonna get $75 back. I don't know if anybody has an issue with that,
What are they doing now?
They'll collect the deposit ahead of time
I'm 75.
to reserve it. And then we ask that they come in at least a week or two prior to pay the other $150 for the actual rental fee.
So we're saving them a trip, basically.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Right.
I know in the past, that's been an issue. They don't show up till the day before.
Yeah, like I have one that she's in Florida this week and she's renting it Saturday. She didn't have a checkbook to send me a check or anything. And so she's just gonna leave a check on the counter on Saturday. And for that, the $150 is what we were able to work out, but I don't like doing that. So if it's all right with everyone, I'd like to ask for the $225 up front, all at one time. That would be one thing. And then, as far as like now with vaping being a big deal versus smoking, I kind of added on number 5, like no smoking / vaping in the pavilion or 20 feet from the entrance. And then number 7, I added the section about no nails, tacks, staples, tape, putty, or any other items that will puncture or will leave marks on the walls. So that way we don't have to worry about it. And then I added the no glitter. It's not so much the confetti or something like that that's easier to sweep up, but the glitter was just, it gets down the little cracks and it's hard to get out or in the rugs.
So is Kelly leaving a mark on the wall, you consider that the same as paint coming off with the tape, or should that be specified more
Well,
as far as?
I talked to Jackie, the senior center, like someone used some putty at one time and then it stained the paint.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking, or like those, what is it, the fully strips, or what do they call them?
Man,
They, sometimes when they'll do that, they'll still take that paint off. I think that's probably what happened,
Paint off down there,
yeah. And
right
it,
down to the drywall.
The command strip stuff, yeah, well, that's really sticky stuff, isn't it?
and by the time you pay for, like, say a gallon of paint, if you didn't have any left
You might
over,
wanna specify command strips.
okay.
Good idea.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I hung a picture up above my desk at work with the command strips that aren't supposed to do any harm to the walls, and Bryce had to putty it. Yeah. But I don't think there is such a thing.
Right.
But you're considering the mark to be the same as paint coming off.
No, because like with what she said, like they put something on there, some kind of putty, and it kind of left like a greasy or oily residue.
Yeah, so I just wonder if we need to specify in there something about paint coming off the wall. I don't know how you word it.
Well, good. And number 7, anything on the, basically, if you don't put anything on the walls, we don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Can you say on there, just use like painter's tape only? That's what we have to do at ours. We have to tell people to use painter's tape when we rent it out. I mean, we don't
Well,
rent it out
that
long, but
that takes paint off too.
it does?
Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the problem down there is that was painted with oil base. Now it has latex over it,
Oh, no.
so the paint pulls off easy. I think nothing should be taped on the walls.
If that's the case, I mean, you can, if you scratch your fingernail along it, it's gonna come off.
But we had to go with latex because they don't sell oil base anymore.
If that happens again, there is a primer you can put over oil that you can put latex on top of. But, yeah.
I do like the idea of one payment, not having to mess around with two,
Mhm.
you know, the deposit, then pay the rest before. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I think at $225, no damages, you'll get your 75 back, and I think it makes it easier for everybody.
I think it's a good idea.
I don't think, surely people won't have a problem with, I would think the people that are renting it out would not have, I don't have to worry about paying for this a week prior to that or with so many days ahead, and
Well,
I
and
think it'd be
honestly,
easier.
$225 up front for the size that the pavilion is, that's cheap.
And the amount of hours that they get it for,
Yeah,
How far out do some people rent it? Like, you have some that are out a year already?
yeah, sometime in a year. Like the families that have reunions, so to say, book me again for next year, the same weekend.
So this is gonna take a year to get everybody out of the system. I mean, moving forward, and
Yeah,
there's still gonna be some for the next few months, several months.
right. Yeah, because I think there's one or two people that might say, just keep my deposit and put that towards my next rental for next year, that kind of thing, is my understanding.
So if someone books the pavilion, like if I would call you tomorrow to book the pavilion, do you send me a contract to fill out?
I've mailed it
Do you
out
not
before.
do that? So you have a contract on hand
I do have the contract on hand, and like, I had,
for each person that rents it?
yeah, I've been doing that since I started. And I just keep them on file, so that way if there's any issues afterwards, we have it signed and,
Because we tell ours within 5 business days, you gotta pay the rental fee and turn it back in, otherwise you're not gonna get it. My mom is renting it, never got a contract.
really? Okay.
hmm Yeah, so I'm just like, Mom, you need to do a contract. So I think I got one from the girls up front. That's before you came.
Sure.
Yeah, but they do have to fill this out before they can.
Yeah,
Go
like
for
whenever they pay their $150, or even their $75 deposit, I'll whip these out and have them sign it, and then Cal signs the back of it, and then I just put it in a file in my office. Mhm. I don't know how strict they were on this prior to me coming, I'm not positive, but just so we're covered legally, I think it needs to be a protocol. The other thing too is like no rollerblading, because we have a lot of rollerbladers in our community. And obviously no running inside with the concrete whatnot. And then just making sure that children are all supervised. That's another thing that but one of the things that the senior center had. And then also added like, not responsible for lost or stolen items, because we do lose that door a lot. And they kind of come and go sometimes. That way they're aware that it's not being looked after. If they left their purse or something inside. And I think there might be something in the contract about that as well. Let's see here, and then I just mentioned on there, bring their own like dishcloths, towels. We do have some Dawn down there, but just because a lot of times they'll ask me, what do I need to bring, that kind of thing. And then on the back, like number 16, when I went down there, I noticed that we had the like electric roaster, we had a couple of coffee brewers, a couple of insulated igloo coolers. And so I like to mention that whenever they call in, and a lot of people are appreciating to get to know that, and then tell them about the deep freezer. And Ben was gracious enough to move it out to the area to where it's unlocked, to where they're able to use it, and they like that, especially this time of year with ice cream sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah.
Or popsicles. Just kind of a list of things that are available to them, because a lot of times they'll want to know what they have access to for the parties. And then also I mentioned about the mics, mic and the speaker system, and then also the fireplace. Just having kind of an authorization before they just go to use it. That way we can have it set up for them. That way, like you said, they don't just rip it out, the system out of the wall, like for the mic and whatnot. That way it's set up correctly. And then I just kind of added a little checklist at the bottom. And then but I asked the Kazers, I said, is there any complaints that you have or anything that you see when you go to clean up? And they said their biggest thing that they see is the trash is overflowing. Because on the old one, it just says, put all the trash in containers. Well, then they're just piling it on, and those are overflowing. And so I try to make a note that there are clean trash bags underneath. So if they would pull it out, they can, replace it. And then I don't know if it matters or not, but I did mention that we do have the dumpster, because they have maybe a large box or something, and they don't want it just sitting out when their party comes. They could go get dispose of it. I don't know if that's an issue or not. So, just, because when you're having, say, a graduation party, you want to kind of clean up things and tidy it up before your company comes. So,
Could they take the trash out?
well, that's what I wonder too. I mean, if anybody was, because a lot of places you do, like when we were at the church for our reunions,
Me
and
too.
we make sure all the trashes are empty and take it out to the dumpsters, and I can change that on.
Because when at the fairgrounds, when our custodian goes in, they basically just have to make sure everything is A-okay and clean the bathrooms and just clean them. I mean, they got a long checklist.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be
I think
wonderful.
they can, I think they need to, because if
Okay.
Jeremiah or his wife, if your party is over at 12 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, and they can't get there till 9, and if you have food in there, that's gross.
Yeah, it is.
I think, if they have access to that,
Is
I would
it
have
always
to.
unlocked?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, if that's okay with everyone.
I think
Anybody have,
they can do
think anybody
that.
will have trouble finding it? Since it's behind the garage?
And I guess when it's being rented out, you might just have to tell them where the dumpster.
Or can you put that on there?
Trash can.
I just put a dumpster is available in the enclosed wooden fence area located next to the parking lot entrance. Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Missy, how much does the 4-H charge a deposit to?
When you call to book, we send you the contract and you're gonna send your money in to book it within 5 business days, which is
Okay, so
$100.
The deposit and the,
Then when they come and pick up the key, they pay us the deposit, we hold that. When they bring it back, then they get it back, or we just keep it, a blank check. Yeah, we
I
just
just
give them a
don't-
key.
I just wondered if charging the whole thing up front is entering new territory. I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, it's fine. I don't know what kind of clientele you have. Some of our clientele can't come up with $225 right off the bat,
I mean,
And then,
I have had someone that, he was gonna pay cash and he was like, oh, I don't have, I'll pay that with the rest of it, so.
I mean, that's fine. We're kind of backwards. I mean, we get the rental fee first and then we do the deposit
Okay.
when they come up. So if they have it on a Saturday, they'll come up on a Friday and pay that, and then they come back on Monday and then give it back to them. I mean, I think that would be the only problem all up front. I don't know.
Well, kind of the contract or the lease reads, it would probably have to be reworded as well.
Yeah.
The attorney.
I mean, I mean,
I can try to, but if I see that they're stumbling and kind of have an issue, then just back off from it. Just, work with them.
now why, I'm just asking, cause see, they pay the rental fee first, and then we just hold a check and give it right back to them. Can you guys not do that?
I don't know what they've done in the past.
So it's basically just sitting in a drawer and it says Kelly Morningstar deposit or whatever there, and then when you bring the key back, you just get it right back. It's not cashed or anything unless you do damage then.
No, well, like if they write a check, usually they'll just write it for the full amount, and then at the end of the month, that's when I balance and then do the deposit at the end of each month. And then that's when we give them back their $75. Cal will work it into giving it back to like.
Instead of doing like 2 checks and then you can just shred the other one, you have to do it that way or?
That's just
Yeah.
how I done it when I started.
There's something with an audit or something that it
Could be with the state board of accounts, that they have to do it that way. I don't,
I,
that's my
So
only
you got your
thought.
paper trail of what was
Yeah,
paid. and
That's
what's
my
paid
only
out.
thought, is it has, it's probably something that the state board of accounts.
And see,
Right.
we have on ours says their key number on there, what they paid, when their deposit was made, and then if they're having alcohol and stuff, we have a whole nother checklist, and then when they bring it back, we put deposit returned and put it at the top, and then we scan it in and put it on their file on their calendar, because we have it on the calendar. And then the contract is there, so if Fair Board calls us and says, Kelly Morningstar rented it, is this right? We can pull it right back up, instead of keeping all those copies.
Because of the way we probably have to report it. I could see why Kelly wants to do the 225 all up front,
Uh-huh.
but it's gonna be a part, a learning curve until everybody gets figured it out.
I know that
Yeah.
I work for Soil and Water, and we're a special district, considered a special district of the government. And so we are not allowed to hold checks and not cash them. We have to deposit them, and then I've had to write refund checks, issue refund checks to people, but State Board of Accounts will not allow us, and I think it's probably the same here, will not allow us to just hold a check,
Yeah.
and actually, we're supposed to deposit it in the bank within 24 hours of receiving it.
See, the deposit comes to us and then it goes to our Fair Board. But not the deposit, but the rental, but then the deposit just comes to us. And it's either cash or a check, but then they get it right back.
Yeah,
So they don't even know.
yeah,
There you
we're
have it.
not allowed to do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you think we'll have trouble with people being able to pay the full 225 up front?
I've only had maybe 2 people. One was like, whoa, 225. And I had to go back at her and say, it's only $150 to rent it. And it's a $75 security deposit. And then she was okay with it. She understood then.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like I said, I had the one gentleman that come in with cash, and he had $75 cash. So he said, I'll pay up later on, which, at this time, we're fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think most people who rent the pavilion can afford the $225. I think about the people that I work with that are poor, that could never afford to come up with $225. They're not gonna rent the pavilion anyway. So I would lean toward the people who rent probably can afford the $225 up front. And you could even put a little disclaimer on the bottom that says, if you have difficulty paying the full amount, please speak with me or something like that. And that would just, if people would, that'd give them.
Or I understand what you're saying, but should we wait and see how it goes before we add that?
Oh, yeah, I think that's
Because
a good idea.
if we don't put it on there and it goes fine and we don't have any kickback, why
Yeah.
mess with it?
That's true. And you'll be able to tell if people are hesitant. I mean, you can tell the way people talk and kind of their body language, if they feel like they can't, you know what I'm saying?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I think that's good.
Maybe we could add it to like the website too, and Facebook or, something along that line that would tell them it's $225.
Yeah,
But this, and that includes a $75 deposit.
yeah,
So just so we're upfront with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
because it'll be a change for people, but I think once people catch on, then,
Mhm.
anything else, Kelly?
No, I can't think of anything else right now, if everyone's okay with this.
Okay, is everyone okay with it? Is there a motion to make the changes that Kelly suggested?
Is there cleaning supplies down there? Or is this, they just wash everything down with their Dawn or?
There are cleaning supplies. In fact, we just had to get some like Clorox wipes and.
So they
some
can wipe
cleaner.
that stuff down or,
I believe that's locked up, isn't it? That's
Oh.
for the Kazers,
okay.
because Drew, orders it for us.
So they just need to bring their own cleaning.
Yeah, like, just like, if they had like a bucket of soapy water, just to clean the tables, and if there's any residue left on the chairs, wipe them down before they fold them up and put them back on
Mhm.
the top of the tables.
Mhm. And trash bags are down there too.
Yeah, they
accessible.
do leave some in the bottom, some clean ones in the bottom in the bathroom trash too, in the big
Mhm.
canisters. So,
Yeah, there's no reason they can't take out the trash.
well, a lot of places I've ever rented, I mean, you had to take the trash out yourselves.
As long as they have new trash bags there.
Yeah.
What are you looking for a motion for to accept?
Accept the changes Kelly suggested.
I'll make a motion to accept the changes.
Here a second.
I'll second it.
Missy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Would you like me to email a copy to you, just once it's changed for your approval, just to double check everything?
Well, we approved it, so, but I wouldn't mind having a copy in my own records in case anybody asks me like this. Yeah. Anybody else want a copy of it for any reason? All right. Does anybody have anything else to discuss?
I want to bring up, the past couple of falls, we've had Tim Shelf spray the ball diamonds. I don't know, that's coming up. I think in the past we've done the diamonds, the outfield themselves, and then at the Little League, we did between the Little League and minor league all the way to the highway, I believe, right? And then up to the batting cages and everything to the highway. And then at the girls softball, was it just inside the fence?
It was the warm-up area and inside the fence, the actual ball diamond outfield.
I guess the reason I'm bringing it up is if we're gonna do that, we should probably get on the schedule for this fall.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to keep on top of it now, so
Yeah,
the fall is the best time to spray. And if we have it looking pretty decent right now, I think we should try to keep it that way.
I agree. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Motions that are second,
I'll second that.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Does he keep us on the schedule every year, Ben? Not necessarily.
So
tell
it
him
has
to?
to be voted on.
So we tell them to put them on schedule and we just know we gotta vote on it every.
Can.
That way we're on
Yeah,
it. We just have to.
it's real easy to forget about it and get behind, and
Well,
then
can
I
we
forgot
just,
about it.
can we just consider it, rather than voting every year, can we just consider it part of the park maintenance and just go ahead and do it? Have it done, or?
And that's, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but that's probably a Cal question.
Okay.
Could that be part of the reorganization first meeting? So you take care of for the year?
Oh, yeah, we
Could
could. I'll make a note to put it on the January.
I guess we could at least make it what we've done in the past, and if we wanna do more of the park or another area, we can talk about it, or they've never done the whole park, have they?
Not for a long
Yeah.
time.
Long time ago.
This spring.
The whole park?
It was the whole
Did we?
park?
Yeah, we decided,
Actually, it was last fall.
we did just the diamonds, to get the diamonds done, and then not too long ago did the whole park.
I don't remember that.
Is that needed again? Should do the whole thing.
Well, and I think, it keeps the weeds and the dandelions down when the kids are playing and the parents are, yeah, I think it's a good idea to do the whole thing.
Okay.
Need to amend the motion, or we moved to get on the schedule, we didn't say for how much, so is that okay to leave it?
I think we're good.
I forget what it was last year. I think it was under 2,000.
Was that the pool and the senior center and everything too? Or is it just the park and,
I
The girls'
think I
softball.
had the pool in with it. Not the senior center.
But Pool paid that part, even though it was all one big job for him.
I think Cal kind of pulled some money out of the third in there.
I can talk to Calla too and see about just making that a regular part of the park budget. Because we're supposed to be able to have input on how we want the park funds spent, so.
it would be beneficial to stay on top of it,
Yeah,
because once you get behind, then it's harder to get caught back up. But if you've got a plan or a regular routine maintenance going, it's a lot easier to
Yeah,
maintain it.
I can, if you feel that we should just do it as a regular thing, I can talk to Calla about just making that
See what she says, I
part
guess.
of the annual budget. Yeah, I'll see what she says. Okay, anything else?
I should have some engineering information in October. Is that the next meeting, October?
October the 9th.
Infrastructure engineering, not American structure.
Oh, okay. I can't keep everything straight.
Infrastructure, stuff that needs to be done, drainage and
Oh, okay.
all that kind of stuff first before we start adding other items.
So what company did you say that is?
That'd be Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And it's the engineering part.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Is that,
I'm sorry.
is that Ben?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have us.
Ben?
Okay.
Do you have any idea where we're at with our budget? I mean, are we
I
doing okay? Are we way out of whack?
Well, I think that when I talked to Kelly, I think she gave me two different figures, and one figure was like $12,000. The other one, I think, was 17,000. So I
Is what
think,
we've spent so far?
no,
Or what?
here it is. We have $12,105.24 toward park equipment and $17,738.12 toward repair and maintenance.
So with getting the park sprayed, that might be approximately 2,000. Then we're gonna have possibly a Duval expense on the diamond. So we're gonna be. And then you did mention there's just some trees that need some attention, which some of that will come from the tree board.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the locks, does that come out of the maintenance part of it, or does that come out of the park equipment part of the budget?
I would think maintenance.
How about Coppersmith?
Yeah, which I don't have a quote for that, but I thought it would be under 5,000 for replacing the light bulbs and putting up any lights that they need to. Which it should be a lot less than that, I would think, since they could just fix the bulbs that were out instead of replacing.
So the big items are Coppersmith and spraying, and then the removing the mound, Dubois, and all that. Any thoughts how much Dubois might cost? They hand you that all? Well, I think, I'll talk to Cal, but I would think we should be fine with having those things done. Okay, anything else? Okay, is there a motion to dismiss?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Okay.
All in favor?
Um,
All right, next meeting's October the 9th. Thanks, you guys.